Okay, moving on to the next question. Is it accurate to say that if someone doubts your trustworthiness in a relationship or your ability to do something, it's really them projecting their own self-doubt onto you? Great question. There's really two things about that one. Number one, there is, somebody being upset with you because you're not trustworthy generally means that they have trust issues. But also number two, you refusing to take feedback from the world, consistent feedback from the world, is not a good idea. So when if you get feedback from your partner, whom you trust and love, that you're not trustworthy, then you need to look at what you're doing and you need to regain that trust. And the way that you regain trust is by being transparent, being open, being, just available to show your, your conduct, yourself, who you are, what you believe in, be open about it, all of those things, because you can't build trust on omission and you can't build trust on obviously lying. Like, I don't need to, that's obvious that that's the case. What I would say to that is that if you're in relationships and people say to you that they doubt your trustworthiness or they behave in a way that they don't trust you, is say, hey, do you trust me? Like, is there a trust issue here? And what can I do from my end to repair this trust issue? Now, if you feel like you're not trustworthy, or somebody thinks that you're not trustworthy and you get upset about it, then you're just creating more of those trustworthy situations within that relationship. Now, obviously, I'm not telling you how you should be how you are. For some people, it's more important to be right than to be happy. For some people, it's more important for self-preservational reasons to be defensive and not share about your stuff, and then exaggerate those trust issues within the relationships. So for some people, it is more important to quit the relationship than it is to actually be vulnerable, and that's okay. But know what you're doing. Like, don't just go, I can't trust anyone, and then not have relationships, because that, if you can't trust anyone, then you're the common denominator on that. So is it accurate to say that if someone doubts your trustworthiness in a relationship or your ability to do something, it's really them projecting their own self-doubt onto you? It's not actually accurate to say that. Yeah, that might be a part of it, but you both bring stuff into the relationship. So whatever shows up in your interrelationship, like with other people, your relationships with other people, you are contributing to it. Now, so it's not accurate to say that it's only the other person, ever. It's never that. So yeah, that's what I would say to that. If you struggle with what I've just said, you might want to check out a book called Extreme Ownership by Jocko Willink and Leif Babin, and it'll give you a really good idea of how much power you actually have in different situations that you might not have acknowledged. There's so much more power. We forget how much power we have in situations, to how much power we have to, affect positive change, how much power, and how, there are power games that we play whether we're aware of them or not. And we are not always the trustworthy person that we project onto other people that we are. So knowing your shadow, embracing your shadow side, embracing the things that are not good about you, that you wouldn't want to talk about, but embrace them, even if just in the privacy of your own mind. Own them. And that way they don't have power over you, and that way you don't play them out unconsciously or subconsciously. Jordan Peterson has a great video on how to embrace your inner sociopath or psychopath, something like that. Check it out. We all have one. We all have an inner narcissist. We all have an inner sociopath. We all have an inner psychopath. We all have those people within us. And they're not specific parts of us, like they're not the 4 people within us. They're just different parts of us that we either embrace and work with and turn that to good, or we let them unconsciously run our lives and get us into trouble and hurt other people with. So I hope that answers your questions. Your question, I'd like to hear what you have to say about that. I suspect I'm going to get some pushback on that inner sociopath piece. That's fine. Bring it. I'm good with mine. So, yeah, look, nobody's perfect. We're all good. We're all good. If we choose to use our power to good, then there's no reason to not celebrate those things.